Hi, welcome to the 1 Liter Podcast. You will watch us drinking 1 liters of beer whilst talking about shies. Please like and subscribe. Welcome to the 1 Liter.
Prost. Cheers. Both of the coasters just stuck to our beer steins. That's hilarious.
Welcome, everybody. This will be the first podcast Philip and I have done since we've been back from Brisbane.
Back in Sydney.
So Philip and I, back in high school, we made a project called Killer Kennedy. First day we filmed, it was just like some of Phil's friends, some of my friends. We're all mutual friends. And I had this like mask. I had like a plastic mask and I painted like black rings and then these black lines ran into the like black lips. And it was kind of like a cool Slipknotty looking mask. And we agreed to do, like, as typical high school kids do, when you agree to make a film about something, it's always like cops or like something to do with like my client, you know, like, oh yeah, we're high school kids who are going to play fully fledged adults with adult jobs, adult
Exactly.
lives, adult woes, right? And then it ended up being I'm buying arms to kill police. And there's 2 detectives who chase me, and they're pursuing me through a tunnel where Phil jumps down out of nowhere. Like,
Who am I?
He's like-
what is my character?
what's the Seinfeld character that lives in a trash can? Grouch?
Grouch.
And he's like, Grouch? Yeah, he's Grouch. And he's like, ah. He's just like a giant bundle of trash. Phil comes out, no shirt. Get out of my tunnel, motherfucker. And I'm like, pointing a gun at him. I'm like, get out of the way. And Phil's like, all right, all right. And then he runs off. And then next minute, the 2 detectives played by our friend Josh and Sean come into the tunnel, and Phil's character gets shot. They pursue me. I get shot, and then right at the end, Phil had this like crazy CGI because Phil filmed it and edited it. There's like this crazy CG bit where like you see the inside of my cells and they're like morphing, and then I like wake up. And then we did a second part, which was like a trailer, and it was
wait. The first part did not have that CG bit in it.
Yeah, no, it was the
was
trailer,
just
right?
It was just your arm, and then all of a sudden you clench your fist like you're still alive.
That's right. And so
And that
the
was like
second one,
that was the cliffhanger. But like, it's literally the whole film was literally one scene.
yeah,
Like it started, 2 scenes. It started in the dingy cop station that was just a graffitied garage.
yeah,
And then it was the scene of basically you getting chased.
yeah.
You're at an arms dealer, you get chased, you die.
I'm an ultimate fighter.
I'm an
We
ultimate
came
cage
to
fighter.
rock. Yeah, I'm an ultimate cage fighter. Yeah,
Oh
Brownie.
yeah, and every scene is like edited with just like pure copyright music because
yeah.
that's just what we liked at the time. Yeah.
Remember anyone watching? Do you remember Never Back Down? Was it Never Back Down, the UFC one?
Oh
And it had
yeah,
that
yeah.
ding, 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 ding. Oh yeah, I think it was you or Josh. No, I think it was Josh told me. Josh, if you listen to this comment, Josh told me he and some mates from high school went and saw that movie. And he said when they were leaving the cinema, I think an old lady who was in the cinema as well went up to him and went, "Don't ever back down, boys."
Bro, that movie was everyone's fucking favorite when that came out. Everyone was like, never back down. I'm going to start learning how to fight. Yeah.
Amber Heard, dude, she was smoking on that.
Oh, was she in that? Right.
Yeah, she was the main
gotcha.
love, the
Gotcha.
interest. So when we decided if we were going to all hang out over Brisbane Christmas period time, we were planning on making a new Killer Kennedy. And we obviously didn't end up doing it because we're all lazy pieces of shit. But before we started the podcast, Phil and I agreed that we had no script, we had no character development. It all kind of just rolled. Like, dude, I don't even think we gave each other directions. Like, all right, so your character's feeling this, run this way. We're just like, all right, you guys run into the tunnel. I'm going to jump out. Let me take my shirt off. And then like, you guys like shoot me if I don't get out of the way, you know?
I think it was literally like, I'll drop out of the tunnel and I'll say, get out of the tunnel, motherfuckers. Okay. Point the camera, do it.
Yeah.
They were like, all right, now you say this. Okay.
Yeah. But somehow, dude, it's like if someone did a social experiment on us, it's like after 3 hours of filming, they had already created a full story without any scripts. You know, like we created something there.
Bro, it was the coolest part of this whole thing is, right, we were then like, let's make a number 2. Still, again, zero plan.
After how long though? What was the period? Like 6 months in between or 3 months? Like,
It wasn't that long, but I think it was more than that. 6 to 12 months at least.
so
We were like,
long.
let's make a second one.
We're
we-
doing it. We're doing it.
We
yeah,
roped
we're
in
so
some
excited.
other friends. A couple of friends weren't there,
Yeah.
and we roped in some other friends, and we were like,
Garrett,
we're going to
we got
make
my
a
mate Garrett.
number 2. Yeah. So then this guy was like a snitch with some information.
Garrett
and,
and Jeremy.
Yeah, our friend Jeremy was meant to be this big tough guy detective, but he was wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt on the day of filming. Like there was zero.
And a backwards baseball cap.
The only costume effort was from you. Like Josh was literally wearing a wife beater.
Yeah, like a
blue,
navy,
one of those
like,
navy
full Aussie
Bonds undershirts.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah. All I had was like I had a fedora, like a beaver skin fedora. Fedora. Is
Fedora,
the
yeah.
German. And then I had like a button up kind of like a hey, how you doing? And then I had cut off denim jeans, and then like a pair of like Etnies fucking skate
It was
shoes.
a
or some
short
shit.
sleeved button up shirt too,
Yeah.
and it had like mustard colored with checkers.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the mask.
Are you looking at pictures?
I think this whole thing was just around you wanting to wear that mask as a
Absolutely, it
murder
was.
character.
Yeah. Can you add just for our own benefit? Can you add for my enjoyment? Can you add good for smoking cups? Just the audio.
Just the audio
from the original clip. Yeah.
Good
and
for
then
smoking cups.
and can you also, if you want, add $10,000?
How much for the lot? 10. There was one line we forgot to say, which was how much the lot of guns were. So that we were like, what do you call it when you post record audio for a film?
ADR.
Yeah, so we just like recorded it at home, the worst quality, and it was
and
just
Josh is like, oh.
$10,000, and he wasn't even one of the characters, but he decided to $10,000.
Can I tell you something funny about? So we had like maybe 3 or 4 different types of plastic guns, and then some like do you know the corks where you the cork guns that tradies use to fill in gaps?
Oh yeah.
Cork.
Yeah.
I had a blue cork gun that I'd strapped with duct tape and a wooden thing, so it kind of looked like a sawn-off shotgun. And so, what's funny was I had those plastic guns. It was like a plastic AK, a plastic like desert, like a Dirty Harry revolver, and then we had like another gun, like a black SWAT gun. And I was sitting on those guns for ages, and we're like
you had them for ages.
Yeah, we're 16, 17, right? But before you and I agreed to film, I had already done heaps of filming with my friends. And
with those guns, yeah.
And Elijah, who was the arms dealer, I ain't saying shit. Elijah, who was my arms dealer, he actually messaged me one day. He's like, "Oh, bro, we're filming today," because everyone used to always come to mine in Logan and Logan home, and all my friends lived around like Springwood, and Elijah lived in what's the Meadowbrook near Logan Hospital. So like Elijah would always travel. He'd sometimes like skateboard there. Like the dude was a fucking warhorse, bro. Never complained. Always traveled so far. And I remember one day I called him and he was like about to catch the bus. I was like, "Oh, mate, can you go to like a Target or like a Crazy Clark's or something?" And
you would say this to him?
Yeah, I said this to him one day. I was like, "Bro, can you go and get some toy guns for this next project we're going to film?" And he was always like, he'd always complain and then agree. He's always like, "Fuck, no." And I'm like, "Come on, bro." And he's like, "Oh, all right." Like, it didn't take a lot to persuade Elijah because he like he knew he saw the big picture. He's like, "Yeah, we probably will need those." So he goes to I think it's called Sam's in Springwood.
Is that like a Crazy Clark?
It's like a Crazy Clark. It's like a $2 store for those who don't know.
A dollar store.
A dollar store. And he goes in there and there was a chick who was like from my grade. She was a babe. Her name was Laura Collins. And apparently Laura Collins worked behind the counter. So like Elijah, who's in the same grade, who's kind of like out of the public eye and in the way of like popular kids. Like everyone knew Elijah was. Like everyone knew everyone, but like there was degrees of popularity, right? Elijah goes in there with like $30 worth of guns to the counter, and apparently Laura was like, like looked at him like, what the fuck, dude?
What are you doing?
Yeah. And then like Elijah called me directly after and he's like, fuck, man. Like he wasn't the biggest like, oh, let's get pussy and fuck women. Like he wasn't like that. But like he the dude like
Because he's still
he's
embarrassed.
still like, yeah, but he was like,
this
fuck,
was
man,
still
she looked at me weird. And da-da-da.
This
And I
was
was
still
like,
in school, right?
yeah, we were.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, oh, spewing. But I think I spoke to Laura at some point. I said, hey, look, I told him to get those because we
Oh,
film
you did?
videos.
Yeah. You're like,
Because Elijah, like, I got to back
took
the
the
homie
hit.
up.
Took the hit. Bro,
Yeah. Funny story.
let's give a health update. So no drinking, just like everyone else's New Year's resolution, but we've only committed to a few months, like 2.5 months.
Well,
So-
I've committed to not drink permanently unless it's on an occasion.
Mm.
And it's not just going to be like someone's birthday occasion. No. It's got to be like I got a promotion or we've reached episode 80 or 100 of the podcast or we're going to like a fucking gang thing in March. Like,
Yeah.
well, I'm drinking tonic water, lime, and some strawberries. What about you?
I'm drinking that. My ancestors will turn in their graves here. My German ancestors. I'm drinking 0% beer.
Japanese Asahi,
Japanese
right?
Asahi, yeah, 0%. Really tasty and like really makes it because I'm assuming you don't really have cravings for a cold beer, but if you have that and you want to stop drinking, this is like a perfect solution because it'll be hot. I'll be like, be great to just have a crispy cold beer. You have a 0%, and then the craving's gone. The only reason you would have more beers previously is to get more drunk.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason to have a second one.
Yeah. What about having a liter of non-alcoholic beer though? Does it bloat you out?
Well, I don't know. I'm about to find out.
So do you have a fun fact for us?
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty fucking crazy. But I was,
Shit.
I was watching this video and this came up. But did you know that if you shuffle a deck of cards, 52 cards, that deck of cards is almost guaranteed to be in a unique order that anyone's deck of cards has ever been in. That's how many different combinations there are.
Like every human being doesn't have the same fingerprint, that kind of uniqueness?
Yeah, like 52 factorial, the number is called, which is like, I wrote it down here. So the number is 8 with then 62 zeros behind the 8. 62 zeros.
There's
like,
a 0.0000000 point chance.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So that is how likely it is that you would shuffle a deck of cards the same way someone else has ever previously in the history of having cards around.
I am utterly skeptical about that, but I mean, if Google
Same.
says it's true,
Same. Well, it's not Google. It's like someone scientifically calculating this. Like if you have 52 unique cards, how many different ways is there to put them in a different order? Which is fucking mental to me that there's these crazy card shuffling card counters. I've showed you that guy that I follow on Instagram, haven't I? And he just like takes bets from people in comments. And they're just like $100 says you can't do this. And he just like, and he's got a stopwatch so that you can see that it's like all in one take. And then he just like deals himself 4 aces. And it's ridiculous because he'll do like crazy casino shuffles and all this shit. So he's just like counting the cards with his fingers. I'm like, this is not possible. 52 factorial, man. It's not possible. Like to give you an idea, I wrote down some cool things to elaborate on this fact. If I told you to take a grain of sand and marked it and then told me to hide the grain of sand on any beach in the world, and then you had all the time in the world to find it,
never find it.
your likelihood of finding that grain of salt is higher than us shuffling the same 2 combinations in a deck of cards.
That is so cool.
That's how many combinations there are, like more than grains of sands on Earth.
Holy shit.
That's fucked
That
up.
was a sick one, dude. That was fucking sick. Speaking of percentages in science and stuff,
Talk to me.
did you see that Epstein's list had Stephen Hawking on it?
Yeah.
I think
This
we
is
can all
so stupid.
I think we can all agree that not everyone went to that island for debauchery and hedonism. But the memes that are coming out,
Yeah.
fucking like Stephen Hawking, bro, they're like, I remember like, you remember back in the day, there was like, don't insult the dead, don't talk shit about the dead no matter what happened, like, they're
Yeah.
dead now. Like, that shit's out the window in our generation and these new generations.
But like, it's so fucking stupid because, and I think Pete Davidson does this on one of his Netflix specials. Has this bit on it where
he's got a new special, doesn't he?
yeah, he does.
Oh, you
Apparently
watched it?
Apparently, it's really good. No, I
Hmm.
watched the previous one. But he's got a bit on it where he's like, so what? Like, these people took free plane rides from fucking a billionaire, like, or they went on business meetings or networking meetings, whatever. They went to this island. Apparently, there was also like overaged girls on that island, so there wasn't always underage girls. So like the likelihood of all these people are being involved is very low.
Mm.
So like Pete does this example where he's like, I know this guy who's like filthy rich and he gives me lifts on his jet, and I don't really know what he does. Like he says he works in waste management or something, or waste collection. He's like, yeah, sure. He's like, at least I'm just flying. Have you ever tried to fly commercial? And then he's like, at least I know I'm flying with just one pedophile. Whereas you hop on a commercial jetliner, you don't know how many pedophiles you're flying with.
For real, yeah. That's
Fucked
wild,
up.
dude. That's crazy. That's really good too. That's funny.
So I think like the likelihood is very low. Like these people were networking and they were all clued on business people, obviously. Like Epstein was a mad con artist and like worked himself up real quick
Mm.
when he was quite young.
I'd like to see him him and Jordan Belford try to sell something to someone.
Well, you can only see Jordan Belford.
Yeah.
Epstein's dead, bro.
I saw a picture of him. I saw a picture. Yeah, but can you imagine? Can you imagine, Philip?
Could you imagine?
I saw a picture of like photos of him side profile and then photos of the dead corpse of his. And his nose was kind of narrow a bit, and people are like, that's not his actual nose.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He fake committed suicide.
Yeah.
The whole thing was fake.
The whole thing. So
First of all, he'd never committed suicide. Like he
Oh, we
was
all
either
know that.
murdered or it was a fake.
Yeah, and he's out there somewhere
Exchanged.
still having sex with underage women. It was
Ah,
just
isn't that
chicks, right?
sick?
Yeah. I don't even want to think about it, dude.
Do you know what this segues me to though? What Andrew called us about the other day.
Are we going to talk about that?
Should we talk about it?
Go on. We got to. I mean, Andrew
So-
went out of his way, so we got to help him out.
Exactly. So Andrew, who was on the last podcast, he actually rang us the other day. He's like, I got a good one for you. If you had to commit one crime and after you commit that crime, no other human ever can commit that crime again, what would you choose?
Not legally, but physically. Like you could
You
physically,
physically
not
couldn't do
again.
it. Like some sort of spell would be set on humanity and no one could ever commit that crime again. So then the easy answer.
Pollution.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so you reckon like what though? Littering? Because then you're just going to stop corporations from existing because they're massive pollution. Or you won't be able to buy meat from the supermarket.
Plastic substitutes would be nice. Yeah, yeah. See, it's hard.
It's very
'cause-
hard. There's
'cause
too many moving factors.
We had a long discussion the other day about obviously the first thing that comes to mind is like assault, like murder or rape, right? And we spoke about that, and then there was just too much too many variables that
I think
domino effects.
as bad as it is to talk about it, but I think rape is the obvious one.
Of
But
course it is.
you would have to do it. That's the sick part of this. But let's just say you didn't have to do the crime. If you could pick one crime that would never happen again, it would be rape because that would just eliminate that whole thing.
Mm.
Whereas if you said murder, like, oh, I just go kill someone, a bad person, I'll kill them and then no one can ever murder again. Or no one can ever kill another human again, which then goes into like the military couldn't kill anyone, which is great. You might cause some world peace here. But if you then really wanted to harm someone, you could assault them so badly that they just become a vegetable for the rest of their life because you can't physically kill them.
Like Batman, yeah.
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 We would all, exactly. That's what we said with Andrew. We would all become Batman.
Do you know what I think would also be horrible as well? The amount of times this has been a circumstance, I'm sure isn't as I'm sure it's a very rare circumstance, but What if like a couple of bears were attacking your friend and he was like, "Please, I'm about to die, but I'm dying so slowly. Do it! Shoot me!" And you had a distance, you had a rifle, and you could shoot him, not the bears, because the bears are like,
That is a very likely scenario.
yeah. So it's just like you want to put someone out of their misery,
Yeah.
and you can't do it. So you have to like listen to or watch someone suffer. It's rough, man.
Yeah.
These strawberries in here are so good. You gotta jiggle it.
Yeah. So scenarios like that as well. Yep.
Rape
100% agree.
rape would obviously be the easiest one, so no one can because like what unfortunate circumstance comes out of rape never being able to be acted
Nothing.
out again? Nothing.
Exactly.
So rape's the perfect one. So
Yeah.
rape would be.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to rape someone in order for that.
Yeah,
so
see,
you would
that
have
is-
to. You would have to
Do you know what I said?
fall on the sword.
I just I mean, it's going to be two bad things in one for me. But
It's like that situation. It's just like I had to kill 7 people to save 10,000. You know, it's
you
like
just rape a dude, right?
oh, I don't even want to think about this shit. This is why I went straight to pollution because I didn't discuss pollution last time and I wanted to think about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to mentally give energy to the idea of rape, dude.
Let's
'cause-
not do that. Let's go
Yeah.
pollution.
No, well, you said it. So like, obviously, we'd have to find other ways of transporting produce and things. So pollution couldn't be an overnight thing. We'd have to figure out the
What about-
contingencies.
What about not intentional but physical littering?
I mean, it doesn't hold a candle to rape though. So you
Yeah,
couldn't-
you're right.
So like,
Yeah. That's, so-
let's say rape was already out of the cards.
the other one I thought of, which could be that we don't know the ins and outs here, right? There's so many.
Animal abuse, that'd be a good one.
That or just
But that falls down to like if an animal's
physical
attacking
assault.
you. Mm.
So now, is there a loophole? If you can't physically assault someone,
You kill them.
can you even kill them?
Ooh, okay.
Because yes, if you're charged with murder, you're not going to be charged with assault and murder because murder trumps assault.
well, this comes down to the question of I pull the trigger, but is it me killing you or the gun? Because that's the bullet that
nah,
penetrates you
you're
physically.
still physically assaulting me with a gun.
well,
That's my argument.
okay,
and then
well,
if you
what-
can't
what if-
assault me,
what if I set up a program so this AI generated sniper rifle knows to fire at your face? Visual visual identification.
it's always going to come back to a human click and go.
Nah, I don't
And
know.
you can't
I
do
feel
it.
like there's a grey area there, Craig.
You develop an AI robot that just by itself ends up developing into a assaulting AI?
Well, if you're
or-
having a conversation with an AI and you say the AI is grateful that you created it, and then you say, "I wish I could kill this person, but I can't physically harm them," and then this thing
Well-
gets weapons defense capabilities, it writes itself, man.
that shit writes itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. So then, but I would still say that would probably be a good one. You could probably eliminate murder there as well.
So we can both agree, for Andrew's sake, rape. Rape would be eliminate.
Yeah.
Cool.
100%
Mhm.
on the top of the list.
Thanks, Andrew. That was sick. That was sick.
Sick and sick.
Um,
We didn't even go into the repercussions, because the fact that you have to do that crime, there was no specifying whether you're going to get prosecuted, whether you have to be sneaky about it, whether you're going to get to go, hey, but I fixed it, it's never going to happen ever again, or whether it's just you've done the crime, you go to jail.
yeah. Like a scary
So
thing
you
would
might
be
have
like,
to
like someone
sacrifice yourself.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. One thing that's always been like a terrifying thing, excuse me, is like you say to a genie, "Make me immortal," and they're like, "Okay," and you're like, "How do I know? Someone's
Yeah.
gonna stab me." You know?
Someone's going to try and murder me.
Yeah,
Shit.
that's a scary one, right?
Would you ask for that?
No, I just live my life, and then
What would you ask the genie? 3 wishes you get?
I'd ask the genie for.
Fuck, 3 wishes is a lot. That's so good. You'd ask
Yeah.
the genie for what?
See, that's a hard one, dude. I'd say, I'd ask for, no more rape. Let's just go with no more rape. I don't know about world peace. Like, I'd say no rape.
Are you trying to be noble here? Like,
Yeah.
come
yeah.
on, man. What are you asking the genie
Okay,
for
let's
you?
say I don't say no rape, no religion, no war.
Oh, no religion is one.
Yeah,
Good one.
big time. No,
Yeah, big time.
no rape, no religion, and
But what about like the Peterson argument? The religion being really important for morals.
let's just say all the information we had on religions is still there, but nobody's interested anymore. We keep the morals, but yeah, see, I don't know. It's hard because
It's a
like
hard one.
everyone's not really religious these days, even though the percentage is huge.
Mm.
But everyone's like,
No
fake.
more religions that cause wars.
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah. So it's just like
We
a
can be
new-
specific, can't we?
we have
It's
to
a
ride.
genie.
We have to ride dolphins in the new religion. We're like,
Okay.
I'd go every time I blink. I get $1 trillion in my bank account. Every time I blink, yeah. No, I'll make it a bit more cool.
Is it going to be like? Is it going to be relative to the economy? Like, are you going to fuck up the world's economy just by your bank account? Wait.
Not my fucking problem.
Will be.
Yeah.
Suddenly the economy collapses and then nothing actually gets made or exists and
I'm
you can't
not-
buy anything
I'm
with your
not
money.
looking at going to Vegas and I'm not looking at going on top of a blimp and handing out buckets of money. It's just like it's just a sum. No, I'll say every time
Just say you
I'll say
have
I'll say every
$5
time
billion in your bank account. You're never
Yeah.
going to spend that.
I'll say every time I blink, I'll get $1 because I just like it. It's like tick tick, it just ticks up.
Yeah.
I like the novelty of checking my bank and being like, holy fuck, like
You're like, oh, damn it.
yeah, I don't want to wish for just like a specific sum.
But how interesting would that be? You check your balance in the morning, check your balance in the evening. You're like, oh, fuck, I blinked this many times.
The REM sleep, yeah. It's sick.
You'd be like, oh, shit, tracking my blinks.
So I like that.
You just develop a tick, on purpose.
Yeah,
Just be like,
yeah.
like a blinking tick. You just be like, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom, 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 boom.
I'd like the idea of I'd maybe ask the genie, what's the meaning of life?
Can you do that? Can he give you answers?
Well, here's the thing.
Let me know the meaning of life. Let me figure out the meaning of life. There you go. Then he doesn't have to tell you.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't ask that question because here's why.
You don't want to know. Do you even want to know?
Not necessarily.
What if there is no meaning?
Yeah, but it's kind of already feel like that now, So
Isn't it?
it's not going to change my mind. It sounds like a nihilist, eh?
There is no fucking meaning.
If a genie existed, and that would suggest some kind of supernatural power,
Mm.
then I'd have to consider that there are some kind of supernatural forces
Exactly.
out there. So the idea of a god or heaven or anything crazy like that would kind of be a bit more conceivable. So I wouldn't really need to go down that route. Which means I wouldn't necessarily want to be immortal because like there could be other realms that like an essence travels to.
Exactly.
So I definitely wouldn't want to just be stuck in
This is exactly why I
in
brought
level 1.
the genie up.
Yeah.
Because if you told me that you would ask for a genie to be immortal, you would become a miserable man
Oh yeah.
over thousands, even 1,000,000 years.
Mm.
Could you imagine just outliving everyone you've ever known, then making new friends, and then outliving them, and then making new friends, and then outliving them? Everyone just dies
Seeing
around you.
partners and people die, it sucked, dude. And I think like maybe after the first 200 years, you'd lose your mind.
Yeah.
Because like imagine, because humans move quickly. Like 100 years, 100 years ago was like World War II, and now look where we are.
Mm.
So in another 100 years, I don't know where we'll be. But if we stagnate for a while, or there's nuclear fallout, and there's nothing,
Or there's natural fucking fluctuation of Earth's temperature and we hit an ice age.
yeah, you'd have to be that dude in the fucking eating rats in a bunker. Fuck
Yeah.
that. Or
Would
and
you
by
have to
yourself.
eat rats? How does immortality work?
Yeah, do you need? I think maybe you can eat food and stay plump, but you wouldn't die from
So
starvation.
the food just keeps you, but where does it end? How skinny do you get
True.
without dying?
Maybe a walking skeleton, dude.
Shit.
That'd be gang.
That'd be gang.
Does your head?
So you could just go like walking skeleton mode and then you'd be like, I'll freak everyone out. And then you'll spend a few weeks eating back up.
Yeah, the tissue and veins.
Yeah.
yeah. What would yours be?
Genie. Fuck, see, you don't want to make the mistake that Jafar made and ask to become a genie and then you're stuck in a bottle. So, but
Who was Jafar again?
isn't he the bad guy in Aladdin?
Is that what he asked for? Didn't he
Yeah,
get
at the end-
consumed by the sand?
At the end, he turns into a genie, and then Aladdin's like, haha, sucks him into the bottle.
And what happens to the blue genie, Robin Williams?
He gets set free because
Doesn't he become Aladdin's homie though?
Yeah, because he says to him, he's like, "Hey, my third wish, I will set you free." And he's like, "Yeah, I've heard that before. Everyone says that. Fucking liar."
But if you
And then
free
he
a
actually does
genie,
it.
does a genie not become a human though? Like why
I
would
don't
a
think he
genie?
becomes a.
Because if a genie's free and it gets to like cruise around with powers, that thing is like against nature. Like it's terrifying
Yeah.
to behold.
Exactly.
Like it would disrupt.
But imagine what a
existence.
genie's going through. Imagine being inside of a bottle for thousands of years.
Does he get to do
It's
shit?
the same as being immortal, but you don't get to do anything.
Mm.
I don't think he does. He's just trapped. That's like
if you get to
it's like
sleep though, that'd be sick.
Isn't that the thing in Avengers? Like where he's like, "Oh, if I do this, what's his name? Doctor Strange." He's like, "If I do this, I'm going to be stuck in this realm forever, just like floating about doing nothing." And I thought about that. I'm like, that is the worst. Like his mind would just be in this realm where it can't do anything. It just exists. That would be the worst.
Imagine agreeing to be immortal and then you're stuck in space and you're floating and then you float into like black, because we don't know what happens on black holes. Maybe it's just an eternal vortex.
Oh shit!
Imagine if you're just spinning in like a whirlpool for the rest of your life. Like oh,
I see what you're saying, because if you're immortal, you could just go and shoot yourself into outer space. Oh my god!
And just float and float.
Even if something propelled you as fast as human beings, technology can even propel, you're so slow.
Unless you
Like,
went
you're gonna
past a
have to
star or a planet, you wouldn't know how fast you're going.
Nah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like unless you went real close past one, which
Yeah.
the probability is so fucking low.
Yeah.
Like you could be floating out there for millions of years.
Yeah.
Imagine your mind,
Mm.
what it would have to do in millions of years. Would you forget everything, or would you?
You'd go mad. Because like humans, here's another thing, right?
What the fuck would happen?
Immortal or not, humans are a communal species. When you see depictions of people in movies where they're like trapped on an island by themselves, they're like,
Oh yeah,
and they talk to themselves. There's no guarantee that immortal or not, you wouldn't end up like that.
Yeah.
So fuck that.
yeah. You probably would go absolutely
Bonkers.
insane. Yeah, you'd go nuts. Have you seen that Rick and Morty episode where the Jessica, the chick that Morty always likes, when she gets trapped in this frozen state, this realm? It's fucking crazy, dude. So it's almost like what we said. She gets frozen or something, and then she goes through this thing where her mind exists for like thousands, I can't remember how long, but thousands of years, and they give like this flash forward where she just witnesses like generations and cultures like rising and falling and just killing themselves, and then she comes out of it and she's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna leave now." And she's just like what has she seen?
So what does she do?
Like she's just a different. I'm like, holy shit, she would be not Jessica anymore.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
She'd be God. Like she looked through everything.
Well,
no, not God, but
you'd go crazy. She was not able to interact with anyone, but she had to watch humanity for like thousands and thousands of years.
I wonder if it give you a God complex. That's what I meant to say. But
Oh yeah, because you've just witnessed so
yeah,
much.
like you would have seen things that people didn't expect, you know?
Yeah,
But
like
hang on,
imagine
hang
how
on.
much analyzing you'd have to do with your own brain.
Yeah.
Like you're watching shit happen, you're like, oh, so if a culture, I saw this 200 years ago. If they do that, yeah, that causes a war, right?
Yeah, you see patterns, right?
Yeah.
So you'd basically like if someone came over to you and said something, you'd be like, I'm picking up on this. Like
Yeah, you'd become
pick
a
up on-
godlike.
you'd pick up on so much information on human behavior and everything. But that sounds, is that on the latest season?
No, it was like a couple of seasons ago. The latest one's pretty good too, though.
How many seasons are there now?
7.
7?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, I haven't even. All right, I might go home and watch them tonight. I might binge them.
Dude, they're so good. I know you said you didn't like them, but mainly because of the voice, right? New voices, but they
Isn't the
sound
guy
exactly
who
the
played
same.
Rick got fired? So who does a new
Both.
voice?
Both
and
Rick
Morty.
and Morty?
So what do they sound? Do they still sound like? Oh, Rick.
Yeah,
True.
they sound almost the same. I'm sure if I watched them back to back, you'd be able to tell, but I have not been able to tell on the new season. I was like, nice. Maybe Morty's voice is slightly less annoying. I don't know. I haven't checked.
He's
haven't
like, yeah,
checked.
dog.
Yeah, 7.
I feel like you just you wouldn't know how to separate reality from
Oh yeah,
imagination, because like now all of a sudden you're back in your body, people are talking to you, you're like, oh my god, I'm here.
exactly.
How do I respond to someone without being like, I couldn't go back to my normal life if you like, yeah, dude, we're doing the podcast on Friday, we're gonna do this and that. I'd be like, I've seen everything. Like, I've seen far more interesting things in life. Like, what would entertain you anymore? What would even matter to you anymore? Nothing. How do you find meaning in your life after witnessing thousands of years of other people's lives and meanings, and what they do is far more significant than what I could ever do, you know? Fuck that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
gonna say,
shit.
I just wanted you to keep going. I was like,
Because it's right, you know? Oh, shit.
the I was gonna say, even if you locked yourself away for 1 year, imagine how much that would fuck your brain up.
Crazy.
Like
dude.
in isolation for a whole year. And then imagine hundreds or thousands. Like there was no way you would pay any attention to your normal life afterwards. You'd probably just die.
Probably.
You'd probably just neglect your body and die
Yeah.
real quick
Yeah. Yeah.
because you wouldn't realize.
And it would be like a blink for you.
Yeah,
Because,
exactly. You'd be like, shh, seeing all this shit. Da, da, da. Oh, I'm out of it, dead.
yeah, 2 years would feel like a long weekend
Yeah.
because you've lived that long. What I was going to ask ye
Yeah.
is, poppycock. I've forgotten.
I've forgotten. Poppycock.
It was related to that. Yes, that was my question. My question was, do you get to see her again later on in the show? And is she fucked?
I can't remember. I haven't paid attention to it.
Wouldn't it
Maybe.
be great to see her again, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if Morty even refers to her after that or whether they're clever because they're very clever. Like, you have to literally watch it all because some of them get swapped, like their realities get swapped.
I
So,
remember that.
yeah. So, like, if they fuck up their original planet, they go and take over.
Morty's at like, sorry,
On it.
Rick's at like some, yeah.
Yeah, they take over in a reality where their actual selves had just died and they just jump in their place. So it's like real dark shit. But because he fucks up original Earth and just Rick and Morty leave that reality and go to a different reality and then they just plunk on in like nothing ever happens. Like everything else is the exact same because there's infinite realities. Everything's the exact same up until that point, but they died. And then so they just enter that one. They go, okay, everything's the same. We're all good.
Yeah.
But there's an episode where they then end up for some reason going back to that original reality.
Mhm.
And it's like all these monsters everywhere and his family or his dad, Jerry, has actually survived and become this like warrior dude and he's like
Tell
tough
me they
as
bring
fuck.
that Jerry to like their reality so Jerry can fuck the.
Oh no. No, it's way darker than that.
Does Jerry try to kill Rick?
Oh dude, it's so dark. You gotta
Nice.
So only Morty goes back and he's like, oh dad, da, da, da. And then Jerry's like, you fucking left us. And you're like, oh shit, of course. Like his reality is completely fucked up.
Yeah. No comedy here. Do we end up finding out about Rick's wife? Do you get to see her?
You don't know, no, but there's like heaps of iterations where they show her and he's like, and there's like flashbacks and shit.
What kind of woman was she that she put up with him?
Oh, she's obviously like the nicest person ever. And like, oh my God, I can't remember her name. Fuck.
Mm.
But yeah, it's real crazy. It gets real deep. Real deep. I love it.
Is that at the end of this season 7, was it like the finale or is it going to be more?
Nah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be way more.
What's, do you have a favorite episode?
Yeah, I've got a couple favorite episodes. So Morty's Mind Blowers. I think I may have showed you that where they jump into
Yeah.
like Morty's memories and he's like,
Oh,
it's
which
like,
one's this one?
yeah, all these memories that he's had Rick delete. And then
Yeah.
there's other colors where he's like, what's this color? And it's memories that Rick wanted to delete. So like embarrassing shit he's done. He's like, fuck, I want Morty to forget that.
Yeah. He
And
like
it
trips
gets,
over
yeah,
and
it
shit.
gets real funny. And then right at the end, they're like about to kill each other. They're like, what the fuck? Because it wipes their memories and shit. And all this shit fucks up. And they're like about to kill each other. And then Summer walks in. She's like, are you guys playing Morty's Mind Blowers again? Like, what the fuck? What is that? She's like, is it a scenario 1 or a scenario 3? And they're like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, it's a scenario 5. She goes to this like secret cupboard and grabs like a syringe in their programmed memories and just like fixes them both. I'm like, dude,
That is wild.
you've
dude.
just set up this like alias in your granddaughter where it's like, if we get totally fucked up, do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
These scenarios.
Rick is literally like an ultra mega brain. That's
Yeah.
what's so fascinating about his character.
It's great. There's some really actually like profound good quotes in there as well. Like I heard Chris Williamson from the Modern Wisdom podcast quote one, which I was like, oh shit, I'm saving that. It's like a Rick and Morty quote talking about like if you're trying to achieve something or you're trying to strive and do some acting and people will judge you, or we're uploading podcasts and we get negative comments or something on a clip, shit like that. So Rick walks out onto this stage where in this reality where everyone hates him, right? And they're like, boo, boo, and booing him. And he's like, your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. I'm like, oh shit, that's heavy. Like you could turn around and say to people, your criticism means nothing to me. I've seen what you're into. It's not what I'm trying to achieve here. I'm not trying to get your approval.
That's so relevant to me because like I hate modern comedy, modern film.
Yeah.
Not modern film, but like I hate what's popular now.
So when I say to you, oh, your clip's not funny, you can be like, fuck you, Phil. I've seen what you find funny. And I don't find that funny.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wild. That's cool.
It's good.
And then you feel like a fucking weirdo though. Because like you're against the majority. But I've always liked being a weirdo, dude. I like not liking what people like. And I don't do it deliberately. It's always just come naturally to me.
Yeah.
Like I hate things that people like. And it's not to be different or stand out. It's just really not what I'm into.
Just
I'm like,
seems to. But like the things that you like and find funny, they're still popular things. Like there's still a lot of people liking it. So you obviously you've got to find that crowd.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep creating and trying to get yourself out there, and then you find the crowd that's weird enough that's like, oh my God, this guy's fucking weird. I love it.
Yeah.
Follow.
I know I'm weird when I go into a movie and I'll watch it and there'll be a scene where no one laughs and I'm like, I've done it so many times. Yeah.
People are like, fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Like this guy's crying. And you're like,
yeah. I think I did do that in a movie. Maybe I think Napoleon was the most recent one I saw in the cinema, and like I think I laughed at a part that was like fucked up.
That was meant to be fucked up, yeah.
But I mean, you can
like
see
sometimes,
humor in it.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you're just like the way it's made, and you're like, oh, it's so lame and cheesy, and then it makes you laugh when it's supposed to be like a profound scene.
Yeah,
I find that with shit like that I'm not at all into, and people are really heavily into.
like Borat and Family Guy and
no, like more serious shit like Star Wars or something. And I'll see something in Star Wars and I'll be like, lame. And people are like, what, man? This is like the moment. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So shit like that, as an example.
I tend to do the same thing, but mine are like not laughs but jokes. I remember being with an ex and we were watching this is a couple exes ago and we were watching, she was really big on like Disney and she's like, please just watch something with me. It's like a comfort thing for me. I was like,
okay.
And we watched Cinderella, like a live action of Cinderella.
Live action?
Yeah, I think it was like a live action or something like that.
Cinderella?
And at one point it was like she wasn't like a ditzy chick. Like she was a really like deep, dark soul, intelligent chick. But I remember watching it and like she was like nestled in with me and she kind of like unconsciously squeezed my hand at a moment that was real like breathtaking. And I was like, fuck, what the fuck is this dude doing? What a loser.
Yeah, it's like
she like blasted me, dude. She was so angry at me.
Oh,
she was like, I just want someone to be in my corner for once. Like gave me this like spiel. I was like, fuck.
Laters.
Yeah, this is bad, dude.
Yeah. I guess another example without offending Star Wars fans is like Avengers. Because I'll say, yes, I like the Avengers series and they're great and whatever. Great action and stuff. But shit that happens in those storylines, I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
As if. Lame.
What I found really cheesy about Avengers was Hawkeye's family. No one
Oh,
gave a flying fuck about that dude or his family.
yeah.
And then when it had Robert Downey Jr. and Eddie's daughter and stuff, and she's like, "I love you, 10 million or whatever," and he's like, "I've given it up, guys. I'm happy. I got a family now. This is the reality I live in." It's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Fight the big purple man already. I don't fucking care. And then like, oh, dude, the Wakanda forever. And like, I think it's cool that African American people finally got a win. You know,
They got a big time on the screen.
big
but
time. They got a superhero. They got like a hey, we have a culture and stuff, but it's just like, I don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah,
Just get
it's-
to the fights already.
Yeah. It's also cheesy and lame.
So
like
cheesy.
They try to build backstories too quickly. Like try to get emotional backstories and get us invested, but it happens too quickly. So then it just doesn't work properly. It's just like surface level shit.
Do you know what? Also, I saw a meme a while ago, and it was like, Chris Rogers. Is that what was the name of Captain America? Tim Rogers or Steve Rogers. And it was
Steve
like,
Rogers.
it was like, are you telling me that this dude from the 40s who wakes up in modern New York isn't a racist? And he was like, and then Samuel Jackson's talking to him, and he's like, there's a picture of him. He's like, real angry. I was like, I'm sure this dude would have some pretty gnarly prejudices.
He'd be so racist.
Even though he was like the underdog dude who cared about people. Like, come on, bro.
But he literally is. His fucking superhero character is literally a patriotic superhero.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
The thing is, like,
he'd be more Texan than modern Texas guys.
yeah. Even if you didn't care about foreigners or African Americans or anything like that, the lingo was different. Their speech was different. To be like, oh, this fucking mooly over here. And this fucking N-word, you know, like, it doesn't mean he's racist. It's just what the words they use. Like, it would have been funny if, like, a director's cut where, like, Samuel Jackson's like, you're going to have to get re-educated, bro. You can't be saying that shit now, you know?
You mean I have to report to you?
Yeah.
Wait, you're telling me what to do?
Yeah. I could break you like a twig, motherfucker.
Doesn't work like that back in my day.
So, yeah, things like Kevin Hart, I just don't find it funny.
How did that segue to Kevin Hart?
Like, I was thinking about Borat again and Family Guy and that kind of quick, easy humor.
Quick, easy,
Stupid voices.
delivered with a yell.
Not thought out enough. Thought out enough that it's like quick wit, but not quick enough to be an intellectual.
Yeah, and it happens, and it's always delivered with like a raised voice. They have to yell their point across, so then it seems funnier.
Exhibit A, Will Ferrell. All of Will Ferrell's characters.
Yeah. Well, it was funny when he first did it, and then it was like, oh wait, that's every one of your characters now.
Yeah. Yep. These limes.
You're smashing through them limes.
They're really grabbing me by the boo-boos.
You
want a lime?
No, I'm good. Who else is like that? Who else does a what's that thing called where people are into like chewing
ASMR.
mouth? Yeah. You're welcome, guys.
I don't like what don't I like? I think what I didn't like about Rick and Morty is like it's like they explain a lot of their jokes was explaining the obvious with loud voices. All right, Morty, we're going to go down this tunnel now. You're probably going to die, Morty. What? You're probably going to die, Morty, but that's okay because if you die, Morty, then you're going to save the day. Hey, I don't know about that, Rick. No, Rick, you got to trust me. You're going to save the day, Morty. You're going to jump down that aisle. You're going to do this. You're really good. You're brave. I care about you. People love that shit. They laugh at it. It's like,
yeah, I don't watch it too much for like
yeah, I know,
finding
but
that funny.
you can't argue that I just wrote Rick and Morty dialogue. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's true.
Fucking fight me.
Except then you need the very clever backstory to it all. So like the simple dialogue, but then a very clever
universe
backstory that they live in.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Do you know when you get something in between the teeth and it's so much it's like pushing between other teeth?
And you can feel the pressure on your
Yeah.
teeth. You got that lime in your teeth.
There we go. Yeah. But so that kind of humor I don't like. And there's a show called The Mighty Boosh, and very telling of my kind of sense of humor because a lot of the time I never laughed at The Mighty Boosh, but I think it was just a bit more calmer. Like they'd be like, "All right, we got to go." There's a British show that's like and the only thing that people liked about The Mighty Boosh was, "Oh, Greg." It's just like,
I
I'm
don't know what it is.
Greg. I got a mangina. How is that funny?
It's not.
That's
why I don't know about
imagine
it.
me standing on top of a car and going, "I've got a rope. I'm gonna hang myself." It's not funny.
Yeah, that's
I've
pretty dark,
Got
too,
a
man.
mangina. It's
You went
like,
from mangina to hanging yourself. That's
like
a different type of humor there.
yeah, if you got that's why I want to choke myself when I see this shit. If I jumped up on a car and went, I'm Joel. I got a mangina. Then that's funny because it's like he's being forced to do it. It's kind of a bit more like he's uncomfortable.
Mm.
But this guy's just like, look at me, a vague, stupid comment. And everyone laughs.
Vague, stupid
hate
comment. That's it.
That shit. But the rest of the Mighty Boosh was just like a quiet show. They'd sit there and have conversations.
Do you think that's derived from old humor? Because people silly characters weren't expressed. So then when people were like, oh, let's put a silly character in this thing that is called film. And then people will laugh because we just have to make a silly voice. People are like, oh, that's not normal.
Probably.
Back in the old days when everyone was uptight and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. But here's like when you think about court jesters, the guys who used to entertain the king in the jester outfit and the paint, the guy you see in, for those who are stupid, when you're playing a deck of cards, the Joker card, the jester. The jester wasn't necessarily just an entertainment. He was also like a confidant and an advisor, because people would be drunk at parties and he'd be going around entertaining, but he'd hear things and he'd see things and he can relay information to people, right?
Was that a byproduct or was it always meant to become that?
I think it later became it, or some of them kept a bit of a level of espionage.
Surely it would have been invented. That character would have been invented just for pure silly entertainment.
Absolutely, yeah. But I mean, back in that day, if you were just kicked around and treated like shit as a jester, what could you? The only career you have, you don't want to be shoveling shit. You don't want to be swinging an axe into someone's face. The only thing that you can do to survive is this job. And if you're being treated like shit, you need a crutch. You need a leg up. So you're gonna be like an information broker,
Mm.
But a court jester a court jester could also make fun of the king without recourse, without
because
punishment.
That's what the king wanted.
Yeah, without punishment. And they were also grounding, like they grounded them, So it'd be like, so back in the day, if a court jester was like, here comes Sir Joel, his head is bald as a bat. If he eats any more meat from sirloin, he's going to get fat. See, that's clever. Everyone laughs. You can see the joke in it.
Yeah.
But if a court jester went, I'm a court jester, I have a mangina, I have a mangina, I have
dumb.
You'd be like, it's dumb.
Everyone would be like, shut the front door.
Yeah.
Do you think
that's what's happened? There's no
Yeah.
I like a bit of fucking effort in my comedy.
Bit of effort.
I'm sure there's some people listening to this randomly going, that was actually pretty funny.
The mangina.
I hope you fucking.
All right, don't finish that sentence.
I'm hot. Yeah, go on.
Do you think that court jesters would be like tiptoeing on the edge all the time?
Oh,
like because you'd
definitely,
have
dude.
some moody fucking kings, bro.
Oh yeah.
And they'd be like, all right, I'm gonna make this joke.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of them were just. The king would be like, ha ha ha, ha, and then turn to his sidekick and just be like, get rid of him.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
He's done.
100%. You have to be a ballsy cunt. You'd have to be a fucking
Clever.
You'd have to be like a Ricky Gervais or a Ben Shapiro or someone who's not afraid to talk shit and walk the blade's edge, But also at the same time,
be clever enough to know what the limit is with the powers.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe a lot of court jesters were friends of the king as well, or they're at least friends with the queen. So like the queen could like The queen
Were
could
they
be
that
like-
high up?
They were.
Really?
were,
Just like
yeah.
a comedian dude.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be
yeah.
the greatest job to score, except for obviously the pressure.
Totally. But I think a lot of the queens would be like, Fintwinius, come here. After the, days later, and you'd be like, yes, my queen. She'd be like, I asked you to perform for Lord Cuntley. What did you notice? And then he would have been like, not just this, but I also heard, because like they'd probably
Informants.
they'd probably entertain brothels, and they'd go to other places, so they'd see things, and they'd run to the queen and be like, Queen, I saw Cuntley rogering the fishwife, or something like that. So yeah, I obviously want to do some more research on it, but
Yeah.
I
It's
want to.
fascinating to me. I never even thought about those characters in history because I guess you'd be pretty close to the king. But with the king, because if the king's like a real miserable, grumpy dude, like, ugh, everyone's always unhappy. I need to rule this kingdom. Everything's mine. Do you reckon it'd be like, Jester, make me laugh? Be like, fuck.
Could
You'd be on the
50-50,
spot.
right?
You'd be on the spot. You'd be like, I got to make this idiot laugh now, and he's angry, and I don't know what to do.
Well, here's the thing as well, right?
I have a mangina.
Yeah.
You live another day.
Here's the thing, though. You could, I think it might be the opposite. I think there were definitely some cunty guys out there. It all depends on their disposition. Are they a ruler who likes to live in solitude and only do these things for public to be seen, or does he actually enjoy the company of his cohort? So, I think it could be compared to modern day. Let's say everyone loves Dave Chappelle, right?
Mhm.
Let's say Dave Chappelle does one bad recording. Are you going to kill Dave Chappelle and chop his head off? No.
Yeah, but it's different day and age, bro.
Well, no, but that's the thing. Like, jesters wouldn't be. If you're living in a kingship with only maybe 200 people there, how many of those 200 people can perform like this guy?
Oh,
So let's say you're having one bad day or you're pissed off. You're not going to chop this dude's head off unless he really fucked you over. you
Yeah,
know?
okay,
You know?
gotcha.
You just be like, be gone, because this dude is.
I think that Jester. And then
Yeah.
the queen would be like, don't worry about it. It was just a joke.
Imagine
I don't know what
like
accent that was.
I don't know. Imagine being like a Belgian lord coming to visit like a king of Sweden, right? And you're like, holy fuck, this king of Sweden's got Wergen von Flupen, the funniest court jester in all of Europe.
How do you know, though? How does that message even
Because
spread?
exactly, because the dude's, I don't know, like
From the last visit, I guess?
the last visit and things
the
like
people
that.
were talking about him?
Or they write to each other as well.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, we've got a feast, we've got this jester.
Oh, I guess if the jester's in like a public event, then that public person might write to their friend in Sweden and be like, oh my God, it was the funniest jester I'd seen.
Bro, they didn't have social media where they could
Exactly.
flick it. So like everything
That's
was,
what I mean. The
everything was so
information-
hyped up.
Hyped, but like so slow to be spread too. So like hyped, and I reckon you wouldn't need much. Like one person could say this was the best jester, and another person could agree, and then suddenly that's just the thing that spreads.
The scary thing is as
I mean,
well
it
as
still
like,
happens. Still happens. You send
Yeah.
a message, you're like, this is the best. Check out this meme about it.
yeah.
And then boom, everyone thinks it's great.
What about, and I think that's a lot of what you mentioned about slow information sharing is how legends are built as well, right?
Mm.
So like, this dude jumps into the ocean to save a damsel in distress and pulls her out, and a local fisherman sees that he's the only one around, and he sails to the next city because I just saw this strong young lad save this woman, and
yeah.
then the other person at the bar's like got nothing to say, so he's like, I saw this guy. This guy told me he saw a man 6'7", and fins for hands saved a woman, the fastest swimmer I've ever seen. Da 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 da. And then that story goes and goes and goes, and now there's a myth about aquatic fishmen saving damsels.
Exactly. I was about to say, and that's after having like 20 pints,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sailormen, they're back home, they're in the bar, they've had fucking 17 beers,
Mm.
and they're like, I saw this guy. I swear he was like 7 foot or something.
Yeah.
And boom, there's the story overdone already. And then the passed on story overdone again.
Yeah. And then
This is how Hercules exists.
Yeah, and then there's a band playing, and then the band make a song about it, and then it's like, oh, this song's so catchy, and like people, like it
I'd be
just spreads.
fascinated. I'm gonna write this down. I'd be fascinated to like
See where legends arise.
like see the OG story of of legends.
Mm.
Maybe we should bring up like one at a time.
Mm.
Like we'll do Hercules next. Like how did Hercules come about?
Yeah. I
Because
like,
like he would have just been a strong guy,
mm,
right? I assume that did some sort of
could
feat.
be like David and Goliath. Like we know, like David shot a slingshot and killed a giant that was terrorizing these people.
Mm.
The Goliath. Turns out the dude was just like freakishly tall for the time, and he shot a fucking. He did one of those rocks that are like really quick, and
Yeah.
just bludgeoned the dude with a rock, and then he's like, David saved us from a giant. It's like people downtown.
And the
like,
giant was just a tall person.
tall
was it?
fucking dude.
Yeah.
Like people like six fucking towns over. Like apparently this dude and fucking.
But there used to be like taller people, like people that don't exist now, right? Isn't there like
there's Nephilim.
yeah,
things.
isn't there like stories of like
Well-
a sort of species that was like pretty fucking tall?
Where's the fucking proof? You know?
And also, what about the theory of the pyramids being built by giants? Have you heard that one?
9.
So there's some people that are like, this could be a theory where they had help of larger humans. And that's how they carried all the fucking
Where are
stones
their
and shit.
bones, bro? Where are their
Exactly.
fucking bones?
Well, bones, unless they're fossilized, they'd be gone. No bones survive unless they're fossilized. Everything we find from dinosaurs is because it's in rock. So if they never perished and then got covered by fucking rock, they'd never fossilize. So they'd all be gone. Maybe the teeth, but still. There could be shit that has been on this earth that has left no trace.
Definitely.
So much of it too.
Yeah, it's depressing, hey?
Shit just decomposes so quickly. And maybe the skeletons of dinosaurs survived due to the nature of their extinction or something, like frozen over and then
A lot
I
of
don't
ash. A
know,
lot of
ash
can
covering them and
solidify,
then it solidifies.
and then rain. Yeah. I like legend stories that are measurable.
Mm.
Like the dude who ran from the Battle of Marathon all the way to Athens to
Yeah.
tell people, and he died. Like that is plausible.
That's
Like
great.
that dude just fucking
that's how you
staunched
did
it.
a marathon.
Yeah.
That's how marathons became.
Yeah. Or like how
We'd never know if a legend was being made at the moment.
mm,
So like back then, right? This could be like a thing where we do like we give them an annual day or something, and that could become a legend down the track. So like the marathon story as a perfect example that just made me think immediately. As that happened, someone was like, "Oh my God." And then they told the story. They're like, he ran the whole way. Like, how far is that? We should do a run to commemorate him, to remember him. And then they did like a run, and then the group got larger, and then they were like, let's call this the marathon run.
mm,
And then it just became a standardized thing. Like that shit could be happening right now where
yeah.
in 100 years' time, it would be like a standard thing that derived from
People
one
playing
person.
basketball with like echidnas and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
And they're just like, Jordan, Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe. Ah. Yeah. That's fascinating, eh?
Isn't that crazy?
If you guys have anything you want to mention to that, if you have a famous legend, either really fictitious or one that is realistic, then please add a comment, or you can do what our dear friend Andrew did and just call us. Because it obviously got results. He talked to us yesterday and it's in the podcast now. So, and also share it around with your friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Prost.
Prost.